If convicted, he could face a sentence of life in prison. Joining me right now to talk about what today and really also Monday will mean is Kelly Hyman. She's a trial attorney. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. I was thinking let's look through this today through the lens of the prosecution and the defense kind of separately. For the defense, what are the kinds of things that you would think they're looking for or the kind of qualities that they might be looking for in the jurors that they will be using these strikes on, do you think?
So each side wants someone that's going to help support their case. So when we look at it from the defense perspective, what is their defense? Their defense is this was his private life. He had a lifestyle and that it was consensual. So from that standpoint, the defense wants potential jurors that are open-minded, that understand that people have different types of relationships, that maybe has been married a few times, that has different jobs, and can understand this perspective, and also potentially that idolizes someone like him. From the prosecution standpoint of who they would want someone with a more traditional lifestyle that has the same type of job, that has been with the same kind of partner for 35 years. But it's also important to remember that they need jurors that are fair and impartial, because that is really key. He is innocent in a court of law until proven guilty, and so someone can't go into the courtroom and already made up their mind and say, yes, he is guilty, or yes, he's not guilty, based on the facts and evidence presented by the prosecution, and make a determination based on that.
They don't have to give a reason for why they choose to strike whomever they do from the jury pool. How much of it is on how much research is it based on? How much is it based on just gut instinct and experience on the part of both sides?
Tremendous amount of research. As someone who's worked on cases representing victims of human trafficking and working on trials, there is a lot of work behind the scenes. So it's important to remember from the juries that came up, they were given questionnaires beforehand, so they had all that information. Diddy has a jury consultant, and they go through all that information, find out about where people work, what they post on social media, what kind of news do they listen to, what kind of music do they listen to as well. So when they're going in today into the courtroom, they are very well prepared. They know who they want and who they do not want on the jury, because ultimately one person could change the result of this trial.
100%. And let's assume that they get seated today, then that would mean that Monday would be expected when the trial really gets underway with opening statements. What is a successful opening going to look like for prosecutors and Combs's defense team? You're talking about kind of what his defense is. What does that look like in openings? How do you do that successfully?
They tell their story. So from the prosecution's perspective, most likely they are going to give a timeline from start to finish of what happens. Now, it's important to remember, in these opening statements, they are not evidence.
Right.
But usually 80% of the jurors, according to some legal scholars, have already made a determination after opening statements of whether someone is guilty or innocent. So this is definitely going to be key. So for the prosecution, they're going to talk about the allegations, the racketeering, the criminal enterprise, the sex trafficking, the transportation for prostitution, and paint that story. From the defendant's standpoint, they are going to try and poke holes at that story, say that this is his personal life, that these are adults, that they consented, and poke holes at the witness, because the key witness for the prosecution is going to be Miss Ventura.
Yeah, which is Combs's ex-girlfriend. There's this video from 2016 that is obviously a lot of people have seen, which has kind of been part of the whole discussion of who's on the jury and who's not. But opening statements coming Monday. This is going to be a key day to kind of set the stage for it. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in. John?
All right, breaking this morning, President Trump appearing to signal a major